All right, we're joined on the Pod Bible podcast today by Rose and Nana from Two Twos podcast. How are you both?
Good.
Really
Thanks for having us.
good.
Finally.
Thank you so much.
I know this is one. Yeah, we've been trying to plan this for a little while, but things come up. Life gets in the
Right,
way. That's
right.
all good. We both cancelled in the past, but we're here today, and that's the main thing. Um, Obviously, yeah, I've been wanting to get you guys on because I think the first time I heard about you was something that I want to talk about anyway, which is when you did the London Podcast Festival last year. So it'd be cool to have a little chat about that. But for those people who are listening who have no idea what the show's all about and how it came about, Nana, do you want to tell us what the premise is, how you guys know each other, how it all came about?
Yeah, I mean, me and Rosie have known each other for about 6 years. She's gonna correct me. I always get this wrong, but I think it's 6 years.
I think you've got it right for
Um,
once.
oh, I got it right for once. Wow. We've known each other for 6 years, and we the reason why we started a platform, I would say, is because we just didn't see ourselves in media. So like being black, being masculine presenting, being lesbians, being from Hackney, being from Ghana. There's just like there's so much when it comes to our identity. So we thought, there's other people out there who need to see themselves, because when you see yourself, it validates who you are. So we decided to start a podcast, and it didn't go very well. We had another member at the time, and it just wasn't
Right.
working out. It just wasn't working out, and then so we was like, let's do YouTube, because that seems much like simpler. We can just get a camera, and we sit in front of the camera and we talk, and that went well for about, what was that, a year? I think it was a year. We've got about 20 videos up there.
I think a year and a
A
half.
year and a half. Okay, a year and a half. Yep. And then we just have so much to say, so we was just like, let's just do a podcast. Because obviously we can talk for much longer, we can have more guests. When we were doing YouTube, we were doing it at Rosie's house, and we can't bring everybody to her house. Do you know what I mean? So we decided to do a podcast, and yeah, a podcast is just about being black, it's about being LGBT, it's about being masculine presenting, but we also try and like highlight other people, because the community is so big. We only represent, a small part of the community. It's huge. So yeah, we just like to educate, inform, entertain. We like to make people laugh, basically. That's what the podcast does.
Nice. So, Rose, how did do you guys go way back?
So we met at a rooftop party. It was a headphones party, like a silent disco party.
Ah, okay.
And it was in the middle of summer. It was summer of 2015, and Nana was friends with my ex-girlfriend, so my girlfriend at the time. So
Yeah.
we met through her. But prior to that, so me and Nana live in the same area. So I moved to the area in 2010, and I used to see this girl at the train station, but I didn't know where the train station was. So I used to follow Nana to the train station, but we didn't know each other then. So I did that for a while, and then I went to meet my girlfriend's friend, and it happened to be this girl I used to follow to the train station.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's how we know each other. Maybe I'm a stalker. I don't know.
A
I
little bit of
mean,
a,
yeah.
she
I mean,
stalks
you
me a little
turned out
bit.
friends, so it worked out. Yeah,
It worked out. Yeah.
yeah. A stalking situation that turned out for the best. Cool. So, I mean, the pod. Yeah, I mean, it's great to get an idea of kind of like what it's all about, but like format wise, is it just a case of the majority of the episodes being you guys sitting down talking about whatever it is, the whatever issue it is that week or whatever you want to talk about, or do you have other sort of touch points that you like to touch on every episode? How does it work? Is there much of a structure, or is it one of those sort of great like rambling conversations?
I
Rose.
definitely want to say that it's not much structure. I definitely want to say it's not much structure, but whenever we have a guest, we do try to shape the episode around them. And like Dana said, we always invite people outside of us who are different from us in the community. So, for example, if you have a trans person on, we want to talk about trans issues, trans rights, and just things that are going on in an everyday trans person's life. And
Yeah.
so we'll just kind of build it around them as well. And it's just a lot of these conversations that we have on the podcast, we used to have them on the way home from a night out or the club or something. So it's just literally an extension of those conversations with a guest, somebody else involved as well. It's like just a whole bunch of friends sitting down having a chit chat. And Yeah, they're always the best ones. Like even when we have people who are cishet, straight people on the podcast, we still try to bring in LGBT stuff as well because we don't want to alienate our original listeners, so to say.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we just speak about everything. So if it's Netflix or whatever it is, we just have a chat. Yeah.
Nice, cool. And Nana, I mean, I was having a look at some of your stuff beforehand and looking at the YouTube channel. And do you guys like you record in like a shared studio? I think I've seen other podcasters record in there, right? Is that right? It's like a professional. I mean, it looks really professional where you do it.
It is professional. I mean, we have a few studios that we record at because we do it every week. We know, it has to be consistent. It has to come out every week. Because when there's not an episode out, our listeners start hounding us. They start hounding us. We don't want that. We try to avoid it. So we've got a few different places. Actually, we've got two at the moment. So we've got two studios that we record in. Just because if our main studio, if the person is away, then we go to the other studio, an alternative studio. But yeah, it's we love. Do you know what? The setup is really important to us. So having like a chilled, like having the chairs, the sofas, and it being so chill so everyone can relax. Because we like people to open up because we're open books. So we just like to create an environment that is safe and that is comfortable and that is warm and people can just like share as much as they want to.
How have you found the difference between, because obviously during the pandemic you would have been doing a lot of recording like this, like recording remotely, and I think there are pros and cons to that because when people are recording in their own homes, they might be more comfortable. Like, you guys are just sat in your own places. Straight after this, you shut your phones or your laptops and you can just go and carry on with your life. You're not having to commute to a studio. Do you find people were a bit more open in that way or no?
You know, it's funny you asked that because I was literally thinking about this yesterday, and I was thinking about the difference between our episodes in lockdown and our episodes before lockdown and our episodes now, and I realised that people are actually a lot more relaxed in person. I realised online, I guess we were so a bit more rigid to whatever the topic was, whereas in person I've noticed that we kind of go on little tangents and we kind of go off subjects a little bit, but those things make the podcast really natural, and whereas when we're at home I had notes in my iPhone, for example, about everything we're going to speak about, whereas in the studio we might have those notes but I don't see myself referring to the notes as much as we did on Zoom. So it's interesting because obviously when you're in your homes you would think that it would be less intimidating, because when you do go to the studio it can be quite intimidating for people who haven't been on a podcast before, for example.
And there's cameras as well and things.
Especially when they see cameras there and lights and stuff. So I would have thought that they were more comfortable in their homes, but listening back I don't think so. It's been the opposite.
And then the other thing, well, I don't know, it's just when you're face to face with people, obviously you get proper eye contact. Like now we're recording this, we're all looking at screens. If I ask you a question, you guys don't actually know who I'm talking to because I'm just looking at the middle of the screen. So it is easier to do those tangents and things that you can do face to face. And I noticed your most recent episode, you had Vic and Jazz from Black Girls Living, who we've had on the podcast. I mean, again, how did you meet them? Was that through podcasting and you just reached out, and is that how you get most of your guests? You just sort of reach out and invite people on, or how does it work? No.
I think we all know each other sort of from like sort of social media, sort of like, the social media community, and just like working. I think like a lot of the things that we do overlap. So I know that Rosie knows Vic, through a different channel, but I just know them from social media, and it's just sort of like we just support each other. So we listen to their episodes. We just support each other every time like an episode comes out. It's a retweet, it's sharing, it's trying to get more people to listen, and it's just a a support thing that goes two ways. So we love them. They've been on our podcast, and we've been on their podcast, so they came on ours. And it's just that like sharing of audiences that's like really important, because people love like both of us separately, but then when you put it together, people get so excited. When you put us together, people get so excited. So yeah, like a mashup. Yeah, that's true. Whenever big podcasters come together, people do get really excited online. It's pretty cool, and it's nice that it's like collaboration rather than like, well, we don't want to promote somebody else's podcast. Yeah, if they're getting more listeners, then you'll get more listeners, and it all works out in the end. So I did talk about
just briefly at the start, the London Podcast Festival, because we were doing some bits and bobs there. We were handing out our magazines there, and I saw you guys on the bill, and then I saw some photos from your show, and it just looked like, it went down really well. Was that your first live show? Had you done stuff like that before? Were you terrified?
Yeah, that was our first live show, and it just came at the right time. We wanted to have a live show, but we were having troubles looking for a venue. We didn't know like how many people are going to come, because our podcast really kind of took off for us during lockdown. And it was just during lockdown, London Podcast Festival got through to us. We're like, we want you guys to do a live show. But before that, we don't even know. We don't know if people actually like us in person. We just didn't know. We didn't know yet. But yeah, like we ended up selling out the first. I think we're the first podcast to sell out like in the week or something, and then
Amazing.
So they gave us a bigger room, and then we sold that out as well, which is really fun, and it was just so good because it's the first time we've actually get to meet our listeners in person. And it was good to like interact with them, and we'll talk on the stage, and they will laugh in person. Because on the podcast, it's just us. There's no you can't see the audience. You don't know what their real reactions are like. And we tell them to use the hashtag so many times, but they don't use the hashtag. So it's good to see that in person. And we were so nervous. It almost didn't happen. Nana lost her outfit on the way to...
Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened.
I need to know.
My sister insisted on taking me to Oxford Circus. It was the day of the show, and I didn't have time. I was working as an assistant producer in an advertising agency, and it's such a demanding job, so I didn't have any time. So on Friday I went, and then my sister insisted on taking me, and I said, no, I'm just gonna go. I just need to be in and out. Get in there and get out, get my outfit, get out. She was like, no, I'll take you. She took me, and then she couldn't find where she parked at the end of the shopping. Like at the end of shopping, she couldn't find where her car was parked. And she was looking for it for like maybe 45 minutes. And some of my clothes were in her car. So yeah, it almost didn't happen. She eventually found it. I don't know, the grace of God, I don't know, universe, but she eventually found it, and the show went on.
Wow, just to add to the stress. Or did it kind of take your mind off it? No, that must have made it much worse.
Nope.
I was close to tears.
Fun.
But it was a good show.
Cool. And did you step off the stage and you were like, phew, that's done, I never want to do that again? Or did it give you a taste for it, and you want to get back on there?
Definitely gave me a taste for it. I was like, I need to do this tomorrow if I can. No, it was amazing. It was absolutely
It was definitely buzzing. And Black Girls Living, again, they had their live show, and they invited us on stage with them at their live show. And
nice.
even going on stage with them, it's like, oh, we need to share the stage, and we need to do this again. We have to.
Yeah, cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, it'd be cool to. I mean, it's the fact that you sold out. Obviously, you've got an audience for it. Because I can appreciate you not knowing. You might have loads of downloads, but you don't know where these people live. You don't know if they're all going to be able to get to that venue on that day. But I've seen more and more podcasts doing like residencies, like doing a monthly show at a certain venue. I reckon this could be in your future. Just make sure you've got your outfit sorted well in advance. Don't get your sister involved, and then you'll be good to go. Cool. All right. Well, I imagine there'll be. I'm sure a lot of people listening will have heard of the podcast already, but hopefully some more people will go and check it out now. And so it's every week, and you can go to YouTube and watch all the episodes on there as well.
Yeah, every single Wednesday. We say it's meant to come out at midnight, but sometimes it's not out. Sometimes it's out at 7 a.m, Sometimes it is, but it's out every single Wednesday. And it's on YouTube now. We thought we'd go back to YouTube because we realised that we neglected, when we stopped doing YouTube to do a podcast, we neglected our YouTube audience. And a lot of them, we didn't even have like an announcement. We just stopped. And a lot of people just thought they didn't realise we did a podcast. So we noticed in our comments that they'd be like, oh, where are you guys? Are you coming back? So we thought, okay, let's just combine the two, pull it on YouTube. So, and some people are better listeners with visual aid anyway. So we've realised that we've got more audience now, and in some cases we've transferred some audiences over. So yeah, YouTube Wednesday as well. Wednesday, it might even be out in the evening, the YouTube one, but yeah, it'll be there on a Wednesday.
Maybe just check in on Thursday. Yeah. Nice one. Cool. Well, thanks both for coming on, and people can look forward to hearing you both coming on to recommend a podcast on a later episode. But yeah, good luck with everything, and hopefully see you at another live show in the future.
Sure. Thank you so much
Thank
for having us.
you.
Thank you.